My last video covered picks 1 through 10 in the 2020 NFL Draft. If you missed it, check out the link in the description to get caught up. Today, let's look at the middle of the pack, picks 11 through 20. In one of the deepest wide receiver classes in recent history, the Jets start the run on them by taking Henry Ruggs III of Alabama. Although Ruggs may not be the top receiver prospect, multiple reports have noted that Ruggs is the likely pick of New York here at 11. After a blazing 4.29 second 40-yard dash at the Combine, Ruggs is a tantalizing pick. The current state of the Jets offense is pitiful at best, and non-existent at worst. Their only wide receiver of any value, Robbie Anderson, left in free agency. The Jets can expect 22-year-old Sam Darnold to grow as a quarterback if the players he's throwing to will be on most teams' practice squad. Darnold has a big arm, and Ruggs averaged nearly 20 yards per catch each year at Alabama. He would be a wonderful downfield burner if the Jets do pull the trigger on him here. The newly relocated Las Vegas Raiders follow up the Jets by taking receiver CeeDee Lamb of Oklahoma. Lamb terrorized defenses in the Big 12 for his entire collegiate career. Although he doesn't have the speed like Ruggs, which is historically treasured by the Raiders organization and the Davis family, Lamb has an unimaginable catch radius. He finds a way to pull down every pass and do something after he catches it. The best part about Lamb is once he's caught the ball, the play has just begun. He's a dynamic playmaker that can give defensive backs nightmares of trying to chase him down. His agility is clearly elite and will plug right into an NFL offense. If you're looking for a knock on Lamb, it's that he hasn't been starved of talent. He's had the luxury of catching passes from 2 Heisman Trophy winners in Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, and a finalist in Jalen Hurts. After the debacle with Antonio Brown, the Raiders need a receiver, and Lamb just might be their guy. The 49ers continued the trend of receivers flying off the board by taking Jerry Jeudy, another receiver from Alabama. Many consider Jeudy the superior Crimson Tide receiver. He caught over 65 passes in his last 2 years at Alabama, as well as over 1,000 yards in both. The 49ers most likely want to run it back this year after falling just short of the Lombardi Trophy. The Niners relied heavily on their committee of running backs last year. They also relied heavily on George Kittle in the passing game, but lacked an elite outside threat to pair him with. With Emmanuel Sanders gone for New Orleans, the best player remaining in the receiver room is probably Marquise Goodwin. Not great. Jerry Jeudy would be a great target for Jimmy G and make that San Francisco offense even scarier. Did somebody mention the GOAT? That's right, Tom Brady decided to bring his talents to Tampa Bay this offseason, and offensive tackle Andrew Thomas of Georgia is just the man to block for him. Brady has a plethora of targets. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and now Rob Gronkowski all await their turn to catch passes from Tom in 2020. If you were to try and find a hole in the Bucs roster, it would most likely be the O-line. Tom won't be able to throw passes to his embarrassment of riches at wide receiver if he doesn't have time to scan the field before he's swallowed up by opposing defenses. Thomas also blocks well for the run, which is another weakness of the Bucs. Drafting Thomas would kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and he's the best O-lineman remaining. The Broncos are probably looking for a receiver in the 2020 draft, but at 15, they'll likely miss out on the top 3 prospects at the position and have to take the best player available, C.J. Henderson. Henderson established himself as the clear number 2 cornerback at the Combine this year. His ball hawking ability paired with a sub-4.4 40-yard dash is a nightmare for quarterbacks. The Broncos just lost Chris Harris Jr. in free agency, and Henderson would be a great fit in the Mile High City. You can't count out the possibility of the Broncos looking to trade up and grab one of those receivers, though. 10 would be the perfect spot to trade up to. The Browns might be looking to trade back and draft Ezra Cleveland, while the Broncos would have their pick of the litter for receivers. It will be fascinating to see what they end up doing. The Atlanta Falcons are one of the most confusing teams in football. A stellar offense paired with an average defense failed to win more than 7 games. Javon Kinlaw of South Carolina might be able to raise the defense to above average. In all of the mock drafts I analyzed, Kinlaw was most commonly drafted here at 16. And his average draft position was 2 selections higher, so the Falcons would be getting good value. This pick would epitomize the idea of drafting the best player available. A player like Kinlaw, who has endured the adversity of homelessness, is sure to have the drive and determination necessary to succeed at the next level. I think the Falcons will be entirely satisfied if they take him. Yet another team with oodles of talent that continues to fall short of expectations is the Dallas Cowboys. K'Lavon Chaisson would be a fantastic complement to the rapidly improving Cowboys defense. Although the Cowboys may want a corner to replace recently departed Byron Jones, an elite edge rusher is welcome on any roster. The Cowboys already have DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, and Leighton Vander Esch to terrify opposing quarterbacks with. Adding a bona fide linebacker like Chase onto the mix will only compound opposing offenses' problems. Jerry Jones has the highest Pro Bowl selection rate of any active GM, and I think he'll find another gem here in the middle of the draft. The Dolphins pick again at 18, and after addressing their quarterback needs earlier, they'll likely turn their attention to the offensive line, picking tackle Josh Jones from Houston. Miami was absolutely unable to rush the ball last year, with Ryan Fitzpatrick leading the team at 243 yards. That pathetic showing has to be remedied this upcoming season if the Dolphins hope to have any chance at success. The Dolphins expanded the backfield this season by signing constant cast-off Jordan Howard and will likely draft another running back this year. Jones looks to be the best tackle available at this juncture in the draft and would serve well to create space for those backs as well as protect Tua if they do decide to take him early. A new city and a new franchise QB for the Raiders? People pick out the Raiders as a sneaky team to take quarterback Jordan Love from Utah State in this year's draft. Love emerged as a potential first-round pick last year in the Mountain West Conference. He flashed his athletic abilities, but is clearly not ready to start right away. Many peg him as the next Patrick Mahomes, a player who, with a few years of guidance, could achieve greatness. Current Raiders quarterback Derek Carr could mentor Love for a few seasons, or the Raiders could trade Carr and start recent signing Marcus Mariota while Love takes notes for a few seasons. The Patriots are a team that might look to trade up for Love. A little over a week ago, the Raiders said they wouldn't let Love move past 19. While they may have changed their minds, this could force teams eyeing him to trade up to get him. The Patriots need a new quarterback, and the owner of the 18th pick, the Dolphins, have a connection with New England. Brian Flores, the current Dolphins coach, worked in New England just 2 seasons ago. Love is a project, but could pay dividends for the future. To round out the top 20, the Jaguars pick again. As I said in my last video, the Jacksonville defense is in shambles, only a shadow of what it once was. Trayvon Diggs, a corner from Alabama, would fit well here. You can pick almost any position on the defensive side of the ball for the Jags, and they could use an upgrade. I think Diggs is one of the best defensive players still on the board at this point, and would fit right in Jacksonville. The Jags have to start rebuilding somewhere, and I think their 2 first-round picks this year will help a lot. That's the end of the top 20. Thanks for watching.